My name is Grace Myers. I'm 36 years old. 20 years ago, my parents kicked me out of the house for getting pregnant in 10th grade. 16 years old. November rain. One suitcase. My mother pointing at the door, telling me I was dead to them. That same night, they signed papers erasing me from the family, me and any child I might ever have. I kept those papers. I kept everything. For 2 decades, I was invisible. They told everyone I'd moved abroad. Built their spotless reputation on the grave of the daughter they threw away. Then last week, they showed up at my door, desperate, smiling, demanding to meet their grandson, a grandson they'd bragged about for months to 200 of their most powerful friends. They offered me $250,000. They had no idea that the grandson they'd been promising everyone didn't exist. And what they found instead would tear apart everything they'd spent 50 years building. Portland, Oregon, November 2004. I was 16, a sophomore at St. Catherine's Academy, and the youngest child of Richard and Diane Myers. On paper, we were the perfect family. My father owned a successful real estate law practice downtown, Myers and Associates, established 1987. My mother had been president of the Parent-Teacher Association for 4 consecutive years. We sat in the front pew at Grace Fellowship Church every Sunday, dressed in coordinated outfits my mother selected each Saturday night. But every family has its hierarchy, and I learned mine early. Nathan, my older brother, was 22 and in his 3rd year of dental school. He was the pride of the family, the son who would carry on the Myers name. Carolyn, 20, was studying to become a teacher, the dutiful daughter who never questioned anything. And then there was me. I was what my mother once called the surprise. Born when she was 34, 6 years after she thought she was done having children. I don't think she ever forgave me for disrupting her plans. The signs were subtle, but constant. Family photos displayed prominently in the living room somehow never included my school portraits. Dinner conversations revolved around Nathan's clinical rotations or Carolyn's student teaching placement. When I mentioned making the honor roll, my father would nod and say, "That's nice, Grace," before turning back to Nathan. I learned to make myself small, to not ask for too much, to not need too much. My father had a saying he repeated at every family gathering: reputation takes 20 years to build and 5 minutes to destroy. I didn't understand then how prophetic those words would become, or that I would be the 5 minutes he feared. I met Marcus Webb at the public library downtown. It sounds unremarkable, but for me, the library was sanctuary. A place where no one compared me to my siblings or reminded me of expectations I could never meet. I went there 3 afternoons a week, ostensibly to study, really just to breathe. Marcus attended Jefferson High, the public school my parents would never acknowledge existed. He was 17, worked part-time at his uncle's auto repair shop, and had the kindest eyes I'd ever seen. He found me crying in the biography section one October afternoon, after my mother had forgotten to pick me up from school for the 3rd time that month. "Hey," he said, sliding into the seat across from me. "You okay?" No one had asked me that in a very long time. We dated secretly for 2 months. He was gentle and patient and made me feel like I mattered, like I was someone worth remembering. October 28th, 2004. I'll never forget staring at that pregnancy test in the bathroom of a gas station 3 miles from my school. 2 pink lines. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. When I told Marcus, he didn't run. He didn't make excuses. He held my hands and said, "We'll figure this out together, Grace. You're not alone." I wanted to believe him. Part of me did. But I knew my parents. I knew what mattered to them. And I knew that when I told them, their first question wouldn't be, "Are you okay?" It would be, "What will people think?" I decided to tell them at Sunday dinner. I didn't know it would be the last meal I'd ever eat in that house. Sunday, November 14th, 2004. 7:32 p.m. The roast beef was overcooked. I remember that detail because I was staring at it, trying to find the courage to speak while my father complained about a property dispute and my mother calculated which families would attend the church Christmas gala. I have something to tell you. The table went quiet. 4 faces turned toward me. My parents, Nathan home